Alright, this week what we're going to do is tie a fly that is very good for Tailor, because at the moment we're in the middle of winter and we're all expecting the Tailor to arrive within the next couple of weeks. There's actually been a few caught on the high tide mid-morning right in front of the shop, so follow along and maybe you want to tie a few of these up and put a few wire tippets on them and go chase your own Tailor in the surf. Alright, first off, putting the hook in the vise. You can use any style of hook for this. I do prefer an SL12S, and I do prefer a short shanked hook, because I think a short shanked hook actually makes it a much nicer fly and keeps all the weight forward on the fly. The hook needs to be straight, and by straight I mean it has to be straight that way. It can't be curved. Right? If it's curved, it'll twist the fly onto the side. This fly was made famous by Popovics, as everyone knows. But this is just our version of it, and it's how we tie them here in the shop. So I hope you like it. Firstly, we're going to jam on some mono thread. This is fine mono. So jam it on nice and tight. If this isn't tight, the rest of the fly will be loose. Stop about mid-shank, because the next thing you're going to do is put a body underneath this. What we're going to use is diamond braid. Diamond braid's a very good product for making bodies on any types of flies. We're using it as an underbody, but you can use it as an overbody on bonefish flies like gotchas and stuff. So jam it on just back from the eye of the hook. Jam the diamond braid all the way back. A couple extra wraps in the back and then come forward. Stop about the width of the eye of the hook back from the eye of the hook, and then wrap. Now we're going to wrap the diamond braid forward to make a little underbody. This will actually show up when the fly is wet. Give it a lot of these mice have. Bless them. Switch it. Right? Stop it just back from the eye of the hook, and take that off by coming forward past the thread and then wrap the thread over the top. Just a couple of times. Now what we're going to do is rotate the vise upside down like that, and we're going to take some streamer hair or ultra hair, or anything like it. It's a 1/6 hour crinkled nylon, so we're going to take some of that, and what we're going to do is we're just going to count these fibres, right? So we only need to get about 20 fibres. So I've got about 20 fibres there now, right? Always cut it off right up in the top of the hank like that. You don't want any short bits down here. Take this, double it over like that, and cut it. All right? Now, what we're looking at here is we're going to wrap this around the thread and we're going to pull it backwards. So it's actually going to be, that's how long the fibre is we've got. All right? But really we want the fly to be about this long. So what we're going to do is, what we're doing in a lot of the flies that we tie, we're going to hand stack this, but we're going to hand stack it in reverse so that it actually grows this fibre and makes it longer and makes it tapered so we don't lose any of our material. So it's a bit easier than hand stacking. You just take it and you slip your fingers like that, pull it out, take it in the middle again, slip your fingers again, pull it out. Now bend it around and check your length. Right? So now we've got it more like the length we want. Alright? Just make it a little bit longer by grabbing those longer fibres. Just taper it out just a little bit longer. Alright, now have your thread right up behind the eye of the hook. A couple of wraps, double it around the thread. Right? Now, we're not going to join these two together like this, which is what we normally do. What we're going to do is rotate the hand and put the fibres between those two fingers. That means we can come straight down either side of the hook and tie it in. Right? And then just leave it lay down like that. Roll him over like that. Now you'll see we've got a couple of fibres here, so you simply just pull them back and trap them in underneath. Right? And now you can see we've actually got a nice tapered tail on that. Next thing we're going to do is put some flash in the middle of this fire. We're going to take some of this, which is Sparkle Flash. This is a great product made by Alan Barber at Tailor. It's probably one of the most used products that you'll ever have in your tying kit. What we're going to do next is we're going to take a bit of light pink. 6 strands, that's all we need. Cut him off. There's very little amount, right? All we want to do is just get a little blush of pink in there. Alright, double it around your hook. Come across the top and just have that faint hint of pink. Okay, let's take a little bit of olive. A little bit of pale olive, 6 strands, always 6 strands. I want to make this look really pretty, so you know if you think it looks pretty, then you'll get out there and you'll use the flying fish at heart. Double it around the hook, put it directly on top of the shank, and tie back. Okay, now we're going to take a bit of light blue, 6 strands, same as before. Double it around the hook, tie it back on it. You can see how we're getting some nice colours there now. Alright, so take a comb, an anti-static comb, and just comb those fibres together, and you'll see they'll blend in really nice and give you a nice looking colour change. Alright, what we're going to do now is add a bit of flash into that colour, and what I'm going to use now is UV blue, blue pearl sparkle flash. Right, it's a very subtle light blue, but it will accentuate every bit of colour that's in there. Once again, 6 strands. Double it around the hook. Comb, lay it down in there. Now what we're going to do is add our dark blue on top. 6 strands. I mean, it can be 7, it can be 8, but you know, use the same amount of number every time. You'll see why we're using a mono thread. I'm tying over this dark blue, yet the dark blue is still coming out. And now just to give it a black back, what we're going to do is, this is also Sparkle Flash by Alan Barber at Tailor. This one here is Black Rainbow. I use this a lot actually with my gold bomber flies. I use the gold UV sparkle flash and the black UV sparkle flash to make gold bombers as well. Once again, 6 strands. Double it around the hook. Come directly on top of that dark blue, tie back, and tie forward again.
comb it down. Make sure it's on top, so it looks nice. Rightio. Now, what we're going to do is add some side flash, because a lot of different bait fish actually have a nice white or pearlescent line down their side. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a pearlescent line by using this, which is saltwater flash bait. It's quite wide and flat, quite wide and flat like that. So we're just going to put a little strip down the side, not very long. Just take one strand. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to lay it in and tie it in the side, but we're only going to make it half the length of the tail. So cut him off. Lay it in there. Try and keep all the other material away from this, because you'll see why when we epoxy it. 3 wraps over the top. Take the second one. Lay it down on the side there, like that. So it's in the centre of the fly. And just 1, 2, 3. Right, now we've got that tied into position. Alright, now what we're going to do is pull it all back like that, and we're going to take our flat weights, take our mono thread, give yourself enough thread. What we're going to do is open weave this back to hold it in place. Because our fly is virtually finished now. Right? So open weave it back and weave it forward in like an X pattern. Right? Like that. Right, now you'll see under here I've got a couple of bits which are out of place. Right? So what I'm going to do with those is I'm going to take my scissors or bodkin or whatever you've got, and just put them on the right side of the hook like that. Right? That's all. Make sure your flat flash is flat. Give it a bit of a tug, and there we've got it sitting really nice. Now what we're going to do is put the eyes on. And the secret with putting the, oh, see I gave it too much of a pull. You just got to be careful at this stage that you don't pull it too tight, because it'll actually clamp the body down to this point. So we want to kind of keep it nice and flat if we can, the same size. What we're going to use here is flat stick-on eyes, but you know, use an eye that suits the size of the fly you're tying. So you know, use your scissors or your bodkin, peel off an eye. Leave it on your bodkin or your scissors and just lay it down where you want the eye. And we want the eye right at the front of this fly. And then take your mono thread and just go over the top and exit into place. Now what we've got to do, always tie it longer than you need so that you can cut it to suit the length of the bait fish. Now we're going to taper it in about that length, because that'll work perfectly out in the surf. Alright, so the best way to taper, we know the length we want. Come in from the back, cut your shape. Oh, we cut the noise off. I know we haven't. And then now cut in this way.
Hold on. Yep. That's it.
And cut this way. what we'll do, simply just tear it off at the end. You don't want it looking like a toothbrush, that's the only thing. There we go. Now, to finish off the clear cure glue, because it's still a little bit tacky, just wiping off all the stickiness with a bit of alcohol, isopropyl. And now use a bit of Sally Hansen's over the top. There you have it. Surf candy.